I want to welcome everybody. Today is October 4th, 2020, and you are watching the Fight Report. I am your host, Sean Lane, live from Lombard MBJ Studios. And we've got a lot to cover here tonight on the Fight Report. We are going to go over the results of UFC Aldana versus Holm versus Aldana, which happened this past Saturday from Fight Island. We're going to go over some MMA news headlines. UFC Fight Night Moraes versus Sandhagen, predictions for this Saturday on ESPN+. Some BellatorMMA news and recap as well. And now we also have joining us in studio, women's strawweight fighter Marisol Ruelas, in studio for the first time, talk about her MMA career during the pandemic and when we can expect to see her fight again. And she's a veteran of Combate Americas and trains at Team Top Notch in Villa Park, Illinois, and at the Flyweight Academy as well. And Marisol, thank you for taking time being on the Fight Report today. It's been a while since we've had you on the show. So just update us, where you feel you are now in your career and what's going on.
Thank you for having me. It's just, right now I feel like I'm just trying to just keep leveling up. Obviously right now my main goal is to just keep fighting and get a fight. It's been over a year, so I'm getting super anxious right now. I'm just training. I'm getting my jiu-jitsu up at Uflockers. I was there for a while, a long time ago, and now I'm back and just hoping to evolve and just get a lot better.
Definitely, and you had mentioned the difference between the two gyms that you train at as well. So
yeah, it's a huge difference. Anybody that has been to an MMA gym and a traditional jiu-jitsu gym, they'll tell you it's so different. The mentalities are different. Not that there's anything wrong with either one of them, but it is a different world. Which also helps because it's different kinds of discipline and it's different kinds of goals. Some people just do it for, to work out or for self-defense or for, just competing in a tournament. And in the MMA gym, we're there and, if it's going to hurt you, okay, it's just, I guess we're a little bit more of knuckleheads, but it's just totally different. But I love both worlds, and I put on the gi for the first time in I think 3-4 years, and I don't want to take it off anytime soon, so that's exciting. And hopefully I can do some tournaments soon.
Yeah, definitely, we're excited to see you come back in action. Like you had said, it has been a while. So how did you feel about during the time off? Did you have any injuries you had to heal up? Did you have anything else that you had to take care of in your life? Was it a good time for you to have that time off?
I think a little bit of both. When it all started, I actually was scheduled to fight, I believe sometime in June. And I had mental breakdown after mental breakdown because, I wasn't getting the proper training and I was just freaking out because I didn't have any partners. And I actually ended up leaving for about a month and a half to Idaho and Spokane, Washington. I got the opportunity to train with Warrior Camp with Pablo Alfonso, which is it was the best thing I was able to do. I love it out there. I do feel like I changed in the way that my fight IQ changed and everything, and so that was really good. And then my fight got canceled, so that wasn't so good. But then I got scheduled another one, and that got canceled, and another one, and that got canceled. But either way, I just kept training, and my game just kept improving and improving, and I feel like it was a good thing. Right. At the end of the day, it was a really good thing. So.
And for sure. And so now, talk about, what you're focused on. I'm sure you want to fight before the end of the year. If that does not happen for you, what's the game plan just to keep focus, and what's going to keep you motivated is what I'm asking, if you weren't able to get that fight?
I really, really hope I can get at least one fight before the end of the year. If it doesn't happen, I'm fine with it. I am focused on, also doing tournaments. So if I don't get an MMA fight, at least I'll do a tournament or two. And if that doesn't happen, then, I'm at the point where I'm okay with not competing and just focused on training and getting better. just because like every time you know, time goes by or every training day, I just feel just a little bit better and a little bit better. And, you know, I know I'll be ready. Like whatever people saw in my last fight or the couple fights before that, that's out the window. Like that's not even, whether it was good or bad, it's not even me anymore, I guess you can say. So I'm excited.
We're excited too to have you on the Fight Report, and more from Marisol Ruelas when we come back on the Fight Report. But we're going to talk also about some MMA headlines before we get into some UFC Fight Night recap. And the headlines I have for you guys is UFC has offered contracts with Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, after Conor tweeted and offered a fight in Ireland. There's no weight. There was no weight restriction at all. It seemed like it was completely outside of the UFC. There was a location and even a date that Conor McGregor had. However, UFC has since offered them both contracts, and we'll have to wait and see if something will happen out of that. Bellator's Milan main event had canceled last Thursday between Paul Daly and Derek Anderson, who failed a weight cut, which was required to go to the hospital after the failed weight cut. So it was a severe one and had to go to the hospital. In the co-main event, which was then the main event, Denise Kleholtz defeated Kate Jackson by knockout in the first round in the bantamweight, I believe it's the featherweight division. A big first round finish for her. Bellator MMA Paris happens on October 10th on CBS Sports Network. This is going to be 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this is headlined by Michael Venom Page and Ross Houston, happening on CBS Sports Network. And LFA, headlined by Askar, defeated LFA 92 Askar defeated Kevin Worth by unanimous decision and gained back in the win column, former HFC bantamweight champion. And Cody Garbrandt, out of this fight, announced with Davison Figueroa for the UFC Flyweight title. This was happening at UFC 255 in December. Alex Perez, who is 24-5, will step up to take his spot in that fight after Cody Garbrandt is out with an injury. And more to come here on the Fight Report. We are going to go over UFC Fight Night Holm versus Aldana, so stay tuned. Sean Lennon here, back with the Fight Report, and we are so grateful to be doing it, Fight Report weekly during this time. And if you go out to Fightlete.com. Our staff writers are doing some great articles. You need to check it out and support them, please, on Fightlete.com. MMA articles, boxing articles. So please, give them a look and let us know what you think. Also, follow the YouTube channel, Fight League Report. All our MMA interviews, including this podcast, will be posted on there every week. And more to come with Spreaker.com/user/Fight League. We're going to be doing more audio stuff as well. So follow us, the Fight Report audio as well, YouTube. And, of course, follow us at Fight League on Twitter and Instagram. So, yeah, definitely going to go over UFC Fight Night card results. Holm versus Irene Aldana. And this was a great main event. I felt like the fights were very competitive last night. And, there were some big surprises, except for this one. And, of course, Marisol, we welcome you back on Fight League Report. And you did say you did watch a couple of fights. Did you have an opinion on any of them?
Yeah, I was able to just watch a little bit of the main card. I watched the Holm versus Irene. That one really surprised me just because Irene didn't look like how she's been fighting. Mm-hmm. I feel like maybe the southpaw, could have kind of like tweaked her off a little bit. Yeah. I did see Holm I feel like she just stepped it up a little bit more. I feel like in her head she had a lot to prove, and she had the whole I'm a vet in this game and I'm not letting you take that away from me. She wants the title really, really bad. And, Irene just has to come back a little bit stronger. And, I think it was a really good fight for Holm. For Irene, not so much, obviously, but hopefully she can bounce back from that. Hopefully that was a learning experience, and, maybe soon she'll get back in the game. But I'm excited for Holm and for her to, get the title shot. I feel like she deserves it, and maybe one more time before. Who knows what's gonna happen? She's 38, 39,
Yes.
but I hope she keeps going. So it's exciting for southpaws. So
Yeah.
It's I love watching her. Get my tricks from her too. So
Nice. That's great. You can pick up on it, and also you have to look at it. Single fight record set, 164 significant strikes, and another one single fight record for 5 takedowns. So those are huge.
That was.
wins.
I don't think I've ever really seen her. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but this was the first time where I saw that she was really confident in taking down, and she just, she saw the opportunity, she took it, and the strikes were working. But if you can get a takedown in there or whatever, like do it.
Definitely.
So that was really good.
Yes.
I watched also Jermaine and. Venezuela Vixen.
Yes.
That was also really exciting, just because I know she trains with Valle, with Mike Valle up in Valley Flow. I didn't know how that fight would go, just because like Jermaine's so big, like she is so strong, and it's just like I didn't know if the distance and the length in her was gonna get to her, but it didn't. I'm really upset she lost. I didn't want her to lose, but at the same time, like it was a really good fight. I think the second round went really well for somebody that's a grappler. So hopefully she bounces back from that too, because she's also a really good fighter, and I like watching her.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I liked them both, and I wasn't really sure how Pena was gonna approach this fight, because Jermaine the Man of Me, Dutch kickboxing. You see, Nunes did not want to stand and bang with her and take her chances. So I figured that it would be the same way with Pena. She did not want to stand and bang with her.
Yeah.
And Pena was trying to get to the ground, and it looked like Pena almost had it. And then the enemy just surprised everybody. First submission victory. So it was a great win for her. And I think she could slot her against Holly Holm, maybe a rematch, and then the winner could fight for the belt. They were talking about that, the post-fight show.
I see it. I doubt they both are, kickboxers. They're both very lengthy. Jermaine's, her size is just like, it blows my mind. But I think it would be a really good fight for her to prove to people, like, I belong in this division and I belong in the top whatever. And, whatever happens.
Definitely. I'm excited to see, what's going forward. And for Pena, I mean, she just came back, right? So she had, like, the pregnancy, and then this is like her second fight back after that, so. Yeah,
I think she fought Nico Motavo, no?
Yes,
yeah.
Nico, yes.
Yeah, she fought her before, and that was a really, I honestly thought Nico was going to have that, so I was excited when I saw that she just bounced back from the pregnancy, and she's like, I'm back, and I'm here to take over. So she has really good grappling. She's super good, like, she's really good with her wrestling and her jiu-jitsu, so that's really nice to watch, especially against, like, really good kickboxers.
Yeah, and what that you have to have it all, because you see Jermaine, she didn't have the grappling.
Yeah.
She suffered her loss with Nunes, and now she obviously switched things up.
Yeah. Nunes is just a beast, though. Nunes is just, whatever weight class she's in, she's just like, man, I don't know. Who knows when, is there any news about her fighting soon? Or?
Megan Anderson is going to fight her at UFC 255 in December for the featherweight title. And I think, like, imposing-wise, like, size-wise, like, that's her most dangerous fight. She's more, she's actually, I think she's taller than Jermaine, but she has that.
She's really big,
Yeah, she's really big. I see it like first round. I have to be very careful, but we'll see. And Megan's knocked out so many women before in the past. True. So, but she's also fell into Holly Holm, and so it's one of those fights. We have to see what the champion brings. But congratulations to her, because she just you heard the news, right?
Yeah, she's having a baby. Well, she had the baby.
Yes.
That's awesome. Like, that's so nice. Especially, it's like a little MMA family, It's just, hopefully, she can also, her wife, is it?
Yeah.
come back too. She's a really good fighter.
Yeah,
she's a really good strawweight.
Yeah.
I think there were talks about her being in the top, like, you know, possibly getting a title shot, but you know, she really wanted a family, so I see it. Yeah.
Nina
Arsenal.
Yes,
yeah,
she's really great.
Bad with names, but
Definitely. And we'll talk about a couple of the fights on the card before we move on. We had Carlos Felipe defeated Yorgan de Castro by unanimous decision. That was a really interesting fight. I like to see the way Carlos Felipe, he really performed well. He didn't get that finish that he wanted, but he's a guy that's really hungry to keep on going in the UFC, and I'm excited for that division because I'm excited for all the young talent that we're seeing that's growing in the UFC. So I think that's going to be the most focal point of this fight. Is just there's so much great talent coming, and you have to be ready for it. And you know they're right on your heels, you know, every time. So Yorgan de Castro, the tough loss for him. You know, obviously that was, I think, his second loss in the UFC. Not the way he wanted to go out now is at 6-2 because he was originally undefeated. But yeah, Carlos Felipe 9-1. And he is fresh off, you know, that last loss to Sergey Spivak, and that was his UFC debut. So that was a big win for him, and in the co-main event slot as well. Very entertaining fighter. You know, he just moved around really well for a guy his size, and that was, I think, the most impressive part. And then we had also Dusko Todorovic versus Daquan Townsend, and he knocked him out in the second of third round. That was not the best fight for Daquan. Of course, you know, that's tough for him. Obviously, falling 4 losses in a row and probably not going to have a future in the UFC. And for Dusko now, 10-0. That was a huge win for him. Not only for that, but that was his big debut as well. So, I mean, that's the way to make it happen. You know, obviously he was on Contender Series when he won by unanimous decision, but this is his first full UFC victory, you know, actually being on the UFC card, and that was huge for him as well. And then we get to Carlos Condit. He defeated Court McGee by unanimous decision, and Carlos looked good in this fight. Like, you may think, hey, he could come back to 170 pounds. He could have a future of being back, and he looked rejuvenated. You know, he's suffered many losses in a row. I mean, this guy kind of, you know, it was not hard to count him out, and he had, you know, obviously 6 losses in a row, but he got it done against Court McGee, and Court McGee is always a tough guy that will bring it, so it's not an easy win for Carlos Condit at all. Court McGee, who has 3 losses in a row, but 2 great veterans. Like, that's what I like, is when you see, you know, 2 guys in UFC, they stand out, and you're like, oh man, I saw them fight 10 years ago. We don't see those fighters anymore, you know. It just seems like it's just the generation, you know, is helmeted. There's a new generation coming in, so I'm encouraged when I see, you know, a guy like him take the stage and you know, make everyone know he's relevant again, even if it's on the undercard. And then Kyler Phillips, man, this guy is really entertaining, and that's why I'm going to close off with him. Second round knockout TKO, elbows from the back mount. He is a guy who's now 8-1, and ever since I saw him originally from the Contender Series, this guy is legit, man. And I really like to see him fight. He won the Contender Series. Then he was on the Ultimate Fighter in February of 2018. Oh, actually September of 2018, and that was not his win. You know, obviously he lost the majority decision, but now coming back and being in this division, which, you know, we're seeing right now, the flyweight division, the bantamweight division, there's so many top contenders. So that was a huge win for Kyler Phillips, and what a fight. So yeah, some really entertaining fights last night. I really enjoyed them, and Holly Holm, you know, it's going to be interesting to see where she goes from here. Obviously, same with Jermaine Durandamy. If that rematch is going to happen between the two of them, that's going to be an exciting one. We cannot miss it. And we're going to take a break here on the Fightlete Report. And next up, we are going to give our predictions time for UFC Fight Night coming up. So make sure to stay tuned on the Fightlete Report, and we'll be back.